Onorato and Miller, the early edition. Chris Onorato, Ashley Miller, live on News Channel 13's Facebook, YouTube, and X, live on a Wednesday night. So a night early. And if you're catching us on TV over the weekend, love that you find us on either My4 or News Channel 13. We do the show live generally every Thursday night at 6:30. But here we are on a Wednesday. Here we are on what will be Game 5 of the World Series. Here we are a day removed from a very active NFL trade deadline and ahead of, I think, one of the better NFL weekends or Sundays for that matter, with just kind of matchups, right? Like there aren't an abundance of great matchups, but the ones that are good, Ash, are really good.
And we haven't said that the last few weeks. We felt like we don't love a lot about this.
I'm going to watch because I'm addicted, but that's the only reason.
Yeah, that's a good reason. Yeah. But yeah, there just have been kind of games that you're like, not really interested. This weekend, two in particular that are potentially, better matchups of the season thus far.
Are we picking both without you saying which ones they are? Are we picking both games?
No.
Ooh.
Just one, I think.
Ooh, okay.
I believe.
All right. We're going to get into the college basketball season too, right? It's amazing. I always say college hockey sneaks up on me. College basketball sneaks up on me. We'll talk with both UAlbany head coaches, Dwayne Killings and Colleen Mullen, on this week's show ahead of their season openers in less than a week now. Let's just get going on Onorato and Miller.
This is Onorato and Miller, sponsored by Alpen House.
A shout out to the great people at Alpen House. I will be there towards the end of the month when they do an official ribbon cutting on the brand new showroom out there in Amsterdam. Sam checking in, of course. Yes. Looks like it might be the last baseball game of the year. I worked with a guy in Watertown, my first job at a TV. He used to record. Now, Yes Network was already doing Yankees Classics, but he used to record baseball games sporadically throughout the year so that in the dead period from the middle of November until, early April, he could have baseball to watch.
Boy.
Yeah, he was a diehard baseball fan. It does, Sam, look like tonight might be the last night as we do the show live on a Wednesday. Jeff checking in as well. Good evening, buddy. Good to see you, man. Thunder
with the middle name
are off to a start here. That's how you tag on Facebook, right? Yeah. All right. All right. Now that we're into the show, like we said, we were going to jump into the college basketball season. We'll get to the NFL trade deadline moves. We'll get to our picks for week 9. Week 8 was hot. I mean, we're doing better than the pros do at this point.
Let's not get crazy.
Some of them anyway, which means we will regress to the mean at some point. We will have some under 500 weeks. There's no doubt about that. But let's bring in the head coach of the UAlbany men's basketball program now, and that is Dwayne Killings. First opportunity that we've had to catch up with the coach on this show. Ash and I have been doing the show together for this is year 2? Well, this is year 3 for DK at UA, man. How are you? Thanks for doing the show.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. I'm honored to get on you guys' show.
Where are you right now?
I'm in the office right now. I actually got to speak to the school senate and just finished up preparing for tomorrow's practice and finish the day and head home after that.
What is the topic with the school senate?
Trying to get students out the games here. We're opening up a brand new Broadview Center here in a few weeks on the 29th against BU. Obviously, we start our season on Tuesday of next week, but it's a huge project, I think, for the community and for the university as a whole. And we really want this to be something that students really, make part of their experience socially, want to kind of change some traditions. So you got to lay the groundwork for it. You can't just open the building, have the kids show up. So they've been great. They've invited us out. We're trying to bring people in so they can get some excitement, but we want to make this a really special atmosphere for us.
DK, I haven't gotten a sneak peek even yet.
Saw some stuff on social.
Okay. Yeah. So I've heard things. Athletic director Mark Benson, for good reason, is selling this thing. He told me you're going to walk in there and when you open your eyes, you're going to think you're in Madison Square Garden, but you're not. You're somewhere else. You're on the UAlbany campus. How pumped are you for people, basketball fans locally here, to see this, but how pumped are you guys to play back in your home arena? You played at HVCC all last year.
Yeah, I mean, last year was hard, not having a home court. And we practiced on what was once a pool on campus. But the reward is something special. I mean, this building will blow your mind when you get inside of it. We're just super amped up, to get out here and show who we are and show our product out there on the floor. But I think we can have a chance to make something really special in terms of, having a really special basketball atmosphere to play in, something that can be really challenging. When you come in, the lighting inside the building is perfect. The acoustics are perfect. I think it's going to be really loud inside the building. The orientation of the court has changed. The seating is changed. You guys, if you guys want to come down, I'll take you for a tour and I'll get you lunch afterwards because you'll be blown away by once you see it. And then behind the scenes, we got a great locker room, film room, lounge for our players. I mean, it's a high-level place. I think it's going to take our recruiting to another level. We say around here, this is going to be the best place to play college basketball. And, we're going to try to chase America East Championship inside the building.
All right, wait a minute. The court orientation has changed. My mind's going to be tripping when I walk in there, and it isn't the way I've been used to for 10 years now.
Yeah, it's a lot different. I mean, it's going to change everybody's mind. Anybody that comes in there is like, wow. I mean, this exceeds their expectations. You have hospitality areas. They're talking about some really cool things, the DJ stand. Yeah. I mean, just so many different things, I think, because people forget college basketball. Yes, it's about basketball and the students and all the hard work that goes on the floor, but it's entertainment. And I think this atmosphere in the arena that's been put together, I think Mark, Benson and Vic Seglis and Javi Rodriguez, their leadership and their ideas about pushing everything forward for our institution, but having a place that people can be entertained. I mean, that's what they want to be. They want to see high-level basketball. They want to have entertainment on the floor at halftime. You got the video board that was donated by Ed Swire. I mean, you have some high-level things here, and I think can transform our university and our community at large.
DK, you lose your top scorer, who was your top scorer in Gerald Drumgoole Jr., but the guy everyone wants to talk about, and I know we talked a lot about him in the offseason, is Jonathan Beagle. He went into the portal. He's now back. He's a local guy, Hudson Falls guy, that I think people are interested in seeing live and in person and in this, enormous, new, bright, fancy stadium that you've got going. How important is he to what you guys want to do with this program?
Yeah, I think he means a lot. I mean, I think first and foremost, he's a local kid. Anytime you can keep local talent, obviously we have to compete really hard with another program locally for him. He chose our program, which is a huge statement for us. He went through the portion of the spring where he went into the portal, but decided to come back. We're super happy to have him here. But what we've been able to do in recruiting is you talk about back-to-back rookies of the year and Jonathan and Justin Neely. I think we have the best front court, at our level in our league. I thought our staff did a really good job in the portal recruiting. Sebastian Thomas, Amari Marshall, Munir Newton, Tyler Bertram. We brought in a really solid freshman class. And when you put all those pieces around guys like Jonathan, Sebastian, and all the other guys we're looking forward to drive our program, I think we have a lot of weapons. We've been able to score the ball at a pretty high level in our two scrimmages. I think we got to push things forward defensively. I think it has to be part of our identity. And again, it goes back to, the guy that starts on the ball, the point guard, and our perimeter players. And then there is some expectation for Jonathan to be able to anchor our defense at some levels. But when you have a playmaker, a rebounder, a scorer, like a kid like Jonathan, he's a local kid. I think it's a special story. I think it gives people more reason to come to games. And I think you want to come and support guys like him, guys like Marcus Fillion, who's here for his 5th year, guys like Marcus Jackson, 2 kids that went to Albany Academy. It's a good story. It's a good place to try to support some kids that want to chase their dreams, and we're trying to make them a reality here.
All right, you mentioned one of these guys' names here, Neely. I throw him up on the screen just to remind some of you Albany fans here, some talented kids missed a lot of games last year, but back to health a little bit with that trio. Let me ask you, though, it's kind of funny. You get new building, but we have to wait a little bit. It's a little bit of a tease. And so I'm sure it feels that way for you guys too. Like, talk about some road tests. UMass to start the season. You've got Seton Hall in there as well. Challenging schedule, DK, even before you play the home opener.
Yeah, I think I grew up in the business, playing for Bruiser Flint. I've known him a long time. Fran Dunphy, Steve Wojciechowski. I mean, those guys believe in playing hard games. It seemed like really good ideas as an assistant, as a head coach. It's kind of crazy. But I think iron sharpens iron. And for us to be the team we want to be, we got to play some hard games. We open up against UMass, then we go to Columbia, which is a team that I think is a really dangerous team. Then we play Seton Hall. Those are 3 really hard games to start the year. We got to go on the road. I mean, we want to make sure we gave time for the arena to be right. If you're going to, start a project like this, you want to make sure you open it the right way. And you give time for things to get done at a really high level. And that's happening. And then, we're lucky to get healthy again. Having Justin Neely back here soon. We're still not sure exactly what his date for clearance will be, but we're working towards that. Namir Little, seeing him back, over the weekend in a scrimmage, he gave us an edge that we had not had in a while, which was exciting to see. And then UAlbany is working himself back onto the court after being injured. That's a lot of injuries, a lot of guys that we missed a lot last year, but we're not looking back. We're looking forward, and we're excited to have those guys back. And we're going to hit the ground hard, against UMass. Our expectation, we try to win the game. And then we're going to play a bunch of hard games. And then finally, we get an opportunity and the reward to play in front of our home fans in the Broadview Center.
Coach, we like being interactive with the fans. We got a question here for you.
You should see what they say about us, but here's a question from
question for Coach. Last couple of years have been tough. What is it going to take to be more consistent and competitive this year?
Yeah, I think the first thing, and it's a great question, Sam. I think the first thing is staying healthy. You go back to year one, we were in position to be top 4 in the league. We lose a kid like Dre Perry, who could have been, all league player. We lose him, and we still kind of battled and did some good things. Last year, we lose a kid like Justin Neely. We spent the entire summer kind of basing our team around Namir Little, UAlbany, but no excuses. You got to find a way to win games. We think we put together a really strong roster. So I think where does it start? It starts in recruiting. It starts in the summer. It starts in the fall with your workouts and your scrimmages. And then you got to get out here and play. And I think our team is coming together. And I think we have a chance to do some things that we believe in that may surprise some other people. We won't be surprised. We just got to get to work.
All right, I'll ask one here, and then Ash always gets final word. And I'll mention to people here, game in Glens Falls, first time ever. Really cool thing happening November 21st. So put that on your calendar, people. And then the Albany Cup is November 26th, with everyone's tuned into. We're taking you into overtime here, DK, but one more from me. When is the last time you went a full day, 24 hours without watching basketball? So either your guys on the court, game film, something on TV,
vacation in Hawaii.
Last time you didn't watch a second of basketball.
That's you know what I'm really bad at. So we went to Puerto Rico, my family and I, and it was great. And I put the phone down. My wife was very happy. She was felt like I was really present. And I think she probably thinks I never watched basketball, but in the morning I would go work out and I'd go to a coffee shop before they wake up. And I was like on Twitter, just kind of following, the USA team, or there's always somebody posting stuff of like basketball highlights. There's probably not a day where you don't watch it. I know there's not a day I don't think about it. And this time of year, you get really excited. The other morning I woke up super early. My wife was like, "What are you doing?" And she was like, "Are you anxious for the season?" I was like, "No, I'm excited." I mean, you're talking about like how to post up Jonathan Beagle, get a jump shot for Tyler Burcham, how to isolate Amari Marshall. There's all these ideas flowing in your head. You got a brand new arena. How do we market it? Me and Vic are sending messages back and forth all day and night because we want to get this stuff right for the university and the community. So there's probably not a day that doesn't go by where I don't see it, but I'm always thinking about it.
Yeah.
DK, who's your NBA team?
Ooh, so one of my best friends is the head coach of the Cavs. So it's hard not to root for them, but he's down 4 bodies to injury. So I know he feels terrible. At that level without 3 NBA stars or starters is hard. But I root for them. But I'm a big Celtics guy. I'm a big Jason Tatum fan. I got my son a jersey. He wears it proudly. That's his favorite player. So probably the Celtics and the Cavs are my teams.
Those are two, in my opinion, 2 top 4 teams in the East this year.
I was going to say, you add Porzingis and Drew Holiday to an already loaded roster, and that should be a team to look out for in the East this year.
Yeah,
healthy Porzingis. See, it's all about health.
Exactly.
It's all about staying healthy.
DK, thank you, man. Get home to the family. You've been on campus long enough and on with us long enough. We appreciate the time, dude.
All right, guys. Be good.
Thanks, you too.
That's UAlbany head coach Dwayne Killings with us here on Onorato and Miller. Let's take a quick time out here, 30-second break. When we come back, we're diving into the NFL trade deadline. Coach Mullen from UAlbany right around the corner as well. Back in 30.
Fall in love with camping all over again at Alpenhaus RV. As another season comes to a close, we look back on a summer of sunsets, late night campfires, and countless memories. Extend the excitement with a new summer retreat for you and your family. All month long, find amazing deals on new and pre-owned RVs from the nation's top brands, like this 2024 Coachman Catalina for $162 a month, or this 2024 Keystone Cougar for $387 a month. Visit us in Amsterdam or Saratoga or online at alpenhausrv.com. Alpenhaus, your total camping outfitter.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
All right, Ash, most trade deadlines, no matter the sport, it's a little bit of a dud. We build it up. We're so hyped for it. We think the big names are going to move. They're blockbuster trades.
Wild.
And then it falls flat and you're like, But you're right.
Some are wild.
Baseball has had like back-to-back now. We were like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Teams are going for it. Teams are selling. I love that. Cool. The NBA is always kind of like in the mix. You get James Harden, which, we'll probably touch on a little bit here on the show. Maybe not a ton this week. Hasn't played yet for the Clippers, but will soon. He's already in LA with the team. That's a big move way before that league even has its trade deadline. But the NFL delivered. Did it not?
It did.
I thought, what are we really going to see? This one is the one that blew me away. Not that Chase Young was traded, but that the Niners made the move. I said it, and remember we had buddies over on Sunday, and I said, I think Washington trades both Sweat and Young.
And they did.
And that's exactly what happened. But I didn't see San Francisco taking this kind of swing. Good for John Lynch.
Yeah, no doubt. The issue for me, and this makes them, they were already potentially the top 2 or 3.
They've lost 3 straight.
3 defenses in the league. I know, but defense has been a problem. The offense has been a bigger problem.
No doubt.
So this makes them the best defense in the league, in my opinion. But I do think they need to figure out a lot. They got to get Deebo Samuel healthy. Like they have to get healthy, and they have to get Brock Purdy back to his original self, along with the rest of that offense, in order for the Niners to be who they are. But I mean, look out. If you're an opposing quarterback, look out.
So, so I'll throw the question up here then. What does the trade do to the balance of power, or were the Niners one in the NFC in your mind already? I mean, Philly's 6-1.
I think it's probably still Philly for me until San Francisco gets out of whatever rut that they're in. I mean, a 3-game losing streak is no joke. You can't be the best team in the NFC having lost 3 straight. I'm not going to go there. So for me, it's still Philadelphia. But like I said, this makes them the best defense in the league. What about for you?
I would still put them behind Philly for sure. And I think right now I might have them behind Detroit. I've got my palm over the Brock Purdy panic button.
Okay.
The last 3, there's a lot to be concerned about. Now, if Deebo Samuel coming back is the elixir, fine. Mm-hmm. But it seems a little hard to believe that that's just going to change I don't know. Professional leagues and coaches catch up at some point.
Yes.
Maybe they're catching up. I don't know.
I'm surprised they
nobody caught up to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But maybe they catch up to Purdy at some point. And maybe this is it.
They caught up to him for a little while, and then
is it Purdy's head injury that is still lingering a little bit? I don't know. But I think I've got Philly, Detroit, and then San Francisco.
Yeah. I'm on board with that.
This scares me, right? If you've said it a quarter, because I think Chase Young now gets uber motivated.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's gone from not a non-contender, because I think people were talking about Washington as a potential playoff team out of that division, but a non-contender. From a non-contender to a Super Bowl favorite potentially, or a conference favorite, at least in the NFC. So you got to be thrilled if you're Chase Young. Thrilled.
Seattle's loading up on that defensive line as well. They send a 2nd and a 5th to the Giants for Leonard Williams. Good move for the Giants here, I think. They're not making the playoffs. They're not very good.
They're terrible.
As Sam pointed out in our comment section, they handed the game to the Jets. That is true. They're without Tyrod Taylor and Daniel Jones now for a little bit. So you sell. You punt on the season. You sell. My opinion, you could have traded more. they chose not to, because I think the idea is, hey, look, next year we can still win this division if we're healthy. But good move here. I like it for Seattle as well. Seattle has a tough test this weekend. Down the road, you have to look at Seattle as a contender in the NFC West with San Francisco.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm never going to be super sold on a Geno Smith-led team.
Yep.
I like him a lot.
Yep.
He was great last year. But listen, I'm not going to Geno Smith, Brock Purdy. Like, we're not talking about Brock Purdy is not some Hall of Fame, really a quarterback who has kind of defined his legacy. This is the second year, technically second half of a year that he's even started in the NFL as a starter. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he's some crazy name that we need to compare Geno Smith to. But again, I'm not sure that I'm sold on Geno Smith carrying a Seahawks team deep into a playoff.
All right, let's do this while we've got it, because it's breaking news. And I just checked on X to make sure this Bobby Knight just passed away. 83 years old. One of the greatest college basketball coaches in history, obviously. A career, yes, that will always have the footnotes and maybe in some ways the headlines of controversy. But can't deny the way he was able to win games at Indiana, for sure.
The success he helped make Indiana continue to make it what it was, and that was a powerhouse program in the 80s.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, like, now 70s, when we talk 80s. And into the 90s, certainly, when we talk about the ferocity of coaches, right? What is over the line? What is allowed? And I think about even just in high school being coached hard. And what I don't kind of flinch at even, now, right? Back when it was like quote unquote acceptable. I mean, Bobby Knight was pushing the envelope on what was acceptable. Sure. But man, that red sweater vest with the white shirt underneath. 83 years old, Bobby Knight. Okay, cool. Sam pointing that out. Made sure it was in fact true. You never really know some of this stuff, but there's your breaking news. The Bills were on the market as well here, and they went out and got defensive back Rasul Douglas from the Packers. They sent a third-round pick to Green Bay. Good move here for Buffalo.
Yeah, they
don't have Trey White.
They needed him.
Don't have Matt Milano. Douglas is a ball hawk. He was frustrated with the way things are going in Green Bay.
And he was so good for them last year after coming over from Arizona. So good for them.
Yeah.
So if he can be 80% of that, the Bills will be thrilled.
Yeah, I like it for Buffalo. And Josh Dobbs is maybe the guy in Minnesota here going forward.
It's interesting.
They have like a menagerie of backup quarterbacks. Nick Mullins. Who the guy on the practice squad who they'll elevate at some point. But Dobbs has started every game for Arizona. He was just benched, and they said, we're going with somebody else. And so Minnesota jumped on that right away with Kirk Cousins done for the year. Quickly on Cousins. We both watched the Netflix doc Quarterback and have an affinity now for Cousins and the type of person and teammate he is. You can't help but feel for the guy. Mid-30s, Achilles injury, end of his contract. Like, you knew he was probably done in Minnesota anyway. This confirms it. But what else will be out there in terms of offers? I don't know. He's made a lot of money. I'm not saying feel sorry for him, but the timeliness or untimeliness of it is tough.
I saw this on X. It's going to take me a long time to ever get there this morning, but this tells you what kind of human Kirk Cousins is, and we've talked about it over and over. The day after he tore his Achilles, he showed up to a fan event on a scooter and was signing autographs for kids. Like, that's, if you have any excuse not to show up to something like that, it's, hey, I just tore my Achilles. I'm all set. I'm not coming today.
Yeah.
He was still there signing autographs. Like, just a good dude.
Yeah, pretty good. All right, we're back in a minute here on Onorato and Miller. Our Week 9 picks still to come. Our Dirty Difficult Done from Performance Industrial as well. And Colleen Mullen, the head coach of the UAlbany women's basketball program, as we double up on the Danes here this week. Back in a minute.
Teams. Athletes. Organizations. We're transforming the custom apparel industry through product and purpose. Claim your crown.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alphen House.
Ash, one note on Bobby Knight, one of only 3 coaches to win an NCAA title, an NIT title, and an Olympic gold medal.
Wow.
Won 4 national championships, 3 as a coach, 1 as a player. Pretty good career.
Yeah,
83 years old. Bobby Knight has died as we do this show live on a Wednesday. You're catching us on TV over the weekend. You can find us across News Channel 13 social media live each and every week, generally Thursdays at 6:30. We talked with Dwayne Killings, head coach of the UAlbany men's basketball program. We've got Colleen Mullen coming up here in about 15 minutes or so on the show to get a look ahead at her season. All right, let's dive into our picks for this week. We were pretty good last week, Ash. Do we want to brag on that a little bit?
I know.
We can.
Have you ever learned nothing in life?
I don't ever know.
Brag,
Jets,
you'll come falling right back down to earth.
Jets, yes. Jags, yes. Dolphins, yes. Bengals, yes. Bears, no. Now, your only miss was New England. So
My only miss was New England, and I got the Charges.
We were both 4-1 last week. I mean, this doesn't happen, people. So we're gonna revel in it while we can.
What is that? That puts us both at 21-18.
Both 21-18 here. That's
Not bad.
pretty good. This is the game of the weekend, and it's a little unfortunate because it's at 9:30 in the morning.
It's not unfortunate. It's great.
Oh, okay. All right, great. Get up and get after
By
it.
the way, this is our shoddy attempt at a graphics. This is how much you realize that John Conlon, our graphics guy, I mean, what he delivers week in and week out.
Yeah.
He's out this week, so
You're saying you don't like my graphics?
No, they're great, but not John Conlon. So yeah, this is our attempt at making graphics.
Okay.
To draw the attention to.
The games are still good.
They're
Graphics
great.
may not be. Dolphins, Chiefs, Kansas City, a slight favorite
Awesome.
here. Not even quite a field goal as they play in Germany.
Yep.
I'm on the Chiefs.
Okay.
Because I've adopted this philosophy this season that after a team puts up an absolute
Stinker?
they bounce back. Mahomes was sick last week at Denver. They didn't score a single touchdown. 9 total points for Kansas City. Miami has struggled
Against good teams.
against good teams, not just this year, but last year as well. Haven't beaten a team with a record over 500 since week 3 of last year. So,
Not good.
So give me the Chiefs here to cover the 2.5.
Yeah, I wanted to be a little bit different when I made these picks, not knowing what you were picking, but I thought you might pick the Chiefs. So I went Dolphins because, listen, they're supremely talented.
Yeah.
The Chiefs had some issues last week. I know Mahomes was sick, so that will probably be resolved. But I wanted to be different, and if anyone can do it, Miami has the firepower to do it. So
if Tyreek Hill scores a touchdown, watch out. I don't know what he'll do to celebrate against his former team, but something fun. We're split there, and we are split here. Seahawks Ravens, another good game. But I'm on the home team here because you've said earlier in the show, not full trust in Geno Smith. They have won some close games this year, just barely pulled it out last week at home. So give me the Ravens here, a Baltimore team that might be the hottest in the NFL at home, 1 o'clock, West Coast team coming east.
Yeah, West Coast team coming east is never a good thing for a 1 o'clock kick. But I love what the Seahawks are doing. They're adding. I think their defense is really good. Their lines are both really good.
Secondary's good.
Yep, but they're in the trenches. They're good, which is like the old days of when the Legion of Boom was there. Obviously, that was their corners and their defensive backs, but their lines were also really good. I feel like they're getting back to that a little bit. The 5.5 is not a huge number, but it's almost a touchdown. So I don't know that they can win, but I think they can keep it close enough. Again, wanted to be different.
we're doing 5 games this week.
Mhm.
The first 4 are excellent, or at least will have me engrossed. Here's the third one. Dallas at Philadelphia. Now, somebody
I
in
don't
Vegas
know.
has to explain this spread to me. I don't understand 3.5. Dallas, yes, played well last week against a
played really
bad
well.
Rams
Yeah.
team.
The
But,
Rams aren't that bad.
but Dak on the road at Philadelphia. I know people, the Eagles, they're not winning impressively. I don't care. They're winning.
Mhm.
The 3.5 for me was like, I'll take it. If it was 6.5, 7.5, I might have thought twice. But for me, the Eagles, I think Dallas disappoints in this one. So I'm comfortable with Philadelphia.
I agree. I think we've said we think Philadelphia is the best team in the NFC. They might be the best team in all of football. They haven't done it overwhelmingly, but they've won. And all you got to do is win. And that's what they've done. So yeah, I think, listen, it's going to be cold. It's starting to get cold in the Northeast. Philadelphia's going to be cold. You've got Dak and a team that plays indoors generally coming up here. I think it's Eagles all day.
Speaking of cold, go to Cincinnati on a
Woo!
November night. That's what the Bills are going to do. They're
It's
used
gonna
to
be
that
awesome.
weather. Certainly, I know this.
I think it's going to be awesome.
Okay. It's
think.
funny. I defaulted to Dolphins Chiefs as the game of the weekend, but is this game better?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
Only because
If you could only watch one, which would you watch?
probably Dolphins Chiefs. This one for me is like, what version of either of these teams are you going to get? Are you going to get the Bengals of the last 3 weeks or the
Yes.
first 3 weeks or
No.
the first 4 weeks?
Mm-mm.
And what version of the Bills are you going to
Don't
get?
know.
So that's the only reason I say Dolphins Chiefs is better.
Oh.
But I'm very interested.
I
in
think
this
it's
game.
why we're picking since. Listen, we know Joe Burrow's Septembers are not pretty.
Yeah, that's not good.
What we have seen from Cincinnati the last few weeks, this is the real Bengals team. Burrow looks healthy.
right.
Jamar Chase is a monster. They're back to running the ball
Yeah.
effectively because I think defenses now realize Burrow is healthy
Yep.
and he's going to be able to throw the ball down the field.
Yep.
This Cincinnati, I haven't done it yet, but a week ago, I thought I better throw some money on the Bengals to win the Super Bowl. They are, I think we are now looking at the only true contender to the Chiefs in the AFC this year. It's not Buffalo. They are way too up and down.
Yeah.
Again, 2.5. This one
so-
for me felt like a layup. I mean,
Yep.
I would rather be wrong on the side of Cincinnati with a number this small than take a shot with Buffalo where I just don't know what I'm getting.
Yeah, I agree. I think last week we saw it. Joe Burrow moving with his legs, running, choosing to run. That calf looks better. He's taking snaps under center, which he was not doing at all.
right.
Basically, when he was hurt, he was strictly in the shotgun. So I think that just indicates exactly what kind of the steps that this offense is taking as he gets healthy, and they're starting to figure it out. And a happy Jamar Chase is going to be a lot more productive than an angry Jamar Chase.
Are there some good receivers in this league? Are there some good receivers in this league? I mean, Jamar Chase,
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown. I think those are the top 4 without putting a ton of thought into it.
Sure.
Those are
Deebo
probably.
Samuel is probably
Yeah.
running back.
Why are
wide
we
receiver.
picking this game? I don't know. It's the Monday night game.
Chris
It's the Jets
decided.
because the Jets aren't out of it. They're very much in it.
Sure.
And Aaron Rodgers keeps getting out on that darn field every pregame
mean-
with more mobility week to week. And I'm thinking, is this really going to happen?
We
Are
saw-
they going to get to the end of December with about a 500 record, maybe a game or two over, and all of a sudden Rodgers leads them to the playoffs?
We saw a 3-step drop the other day, and I thought, oh my God, this guy just tore his Achilles 8 weeks ago or 7 weeks ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what he is doing.
But we both like the Chargers.
Both like the Chargers.
Yeah. Why? Because
Ah.
the Jets defense is good.
Yep.
The Chargers coaching stinks. So why do we like the Chargers here? I just am going to bet on Herbert being able to do enough offensively and the Jets still being anemic offensively.
Yeah,
How bad was that game against the Giants?
It was brutal.
I think our buddy Andrew called it
Catalan.
the ugliest, most beautiful game in NFL
Yeah,
history, something like that.
to that effect. The
Ooh.
best, most ugly game you've ever seen, or something crazy
it
like
was
that.
terrible. All right, so our picks were different on a few. We are the
I think
same.
we're different on two
Yeah.
again this week.
Yeah. Okay. And we both go in to this week with the records of 21 and 18.
It's pretty good.
Telling you that's better than some of the
Don't pat
pros.
yourself on the back. Let me pat you on the back.
All right, good. That's why you're here, to pat me on the back, I think, anyway. All right, Colleen Mullen, the head coach of the UAlbany women's basketball program, still ahead here on Onorato and Miller. So we've got her. Why don't we take a quick time out here? When we come back, Coach Mullen joins us here. Back right after this.
I don't care what kind of stories that's been told on you. That may be a lot of things in life you used to do. If you can't give true love to me, I'll understand. Just do the best you can.
Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs and 95 calories.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alphen House.
All right, back on Onorato and Miller. Shout out to all of our local business partners, Alphen House, Saratoga Eagle, Performance Industrial, that dirty, difficult done, still to come. Our crew over at Novice, Nice Scoba with us, as well as Marcella's each and every single week. All right, let's get to the coach. Coach Mullen going into her 6th season.
Time flies. My guess was 5.
You forget the COVID year. That's why you just wipe the COVID year out, and it is kind of 5.
Yeah.
Although COVID probably took 10 years off any coach's life. Yeah. So it feels like a lot longer than that. Here's the coach with us here on Onorato and Miller. Colleen, it's good to see you. When is the last time you went a full day without riding the Peloton?
Oh, I thought you were going to say without watching basketball.
Well, now that I have the Peloton treadmill, it's doubled it's a double duo now with the bike and the treadmill. So it's been a while, and I try to keep all my circles filled for that Peloton, and I like to keep my streak. And when I don't have my streak, sometimes at about 11:50, I got to go in the meditation app and do a 5-minute meditation just to keep my circles. Yeah,
you feel it. Good for you.
I love
You're
that.
a warrior.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay.
You looking at me?
Well, I like to paint.
Coach, the hair's looking long. I like it.
I know it's I know.
No, I love it. Well, yeah, thank you for being on the show. It's good to see you. I'm out of TV now, and Chris is in news, so we're happy to be.
What are we even doing with this show?
We're happy to be studying for these shows, because we're like, oh, what's the last thing you remember about UAlbany? So we're brushing up on our UA hoops coach. But the most exciting thing, one of the most exciting things, is going to be the debut of Broadview Center, right? Yeah. We're calling it.
Yeah.
We talked to DK about this earlier in the show. How fired up are you? Your kids, like, you played at HVCC all last year. Now you're going to have, not only are you going to have a home court, you're going to have the nicest home court maybe in the state of New York.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, after, it's a long time coming. After playing in HVCC, St. Rose, being just, little nomads, and having, I think it was 11 of our 13 non-conference games last year on the road, not at home. We're just so excited. I'm so excited for the players. They've had so much adversity over the last, year, still being successful, winning a championship, regular season championship, and being undefeated at HVCC during our conference season, is something we're really proud of. And now it's time to turn that page and introduce the Broadview Center to our fans and our family. And really we think it's going to be a unique home court advantage, for our team, but also just an amazing place to watch, a high level of basketball on the men's side and the women's side. And the players certainly deserve it. So we're excited for them.
Season opener at Merrimack on November 6th. Was this a coordinated effort here to have Siena be the home opener in the new building?
Well, I think it just kind of worked out that, that we were able to do a doubleheader with the men and do the Albany Cup. When they were coming up with the timeline of when Broadview Center was going to be ready, we weren't sure if it was going to be November, December. So we wanted to make sure that we kind of had a little bit more of our non-conference away games in November, keep some home games for December. So now it's kind of fun to do the grand opening for women's basketball anyways, with a doubleheader with the men and the Albany Cup with Siena, and a much improved team, a tremendous team, that have a lot of great players returning. So it should be a great environment and a great way to introduce the new arena for women's basketball fans.
Coach, year 6 for you. You've been to the America East tournament 5 times. You've got a regular season title, a tournament title, so an NCAA tournament appearance. But you get an extension that keeps you here. Thankfully, we're grateful. Here with us through 27-28. What has it been about this program, this town, this athletic department, the experience that you felt like, you know what, I do want to be here for, another handful of years at least?
I mean, luckily I was able to pull the wool over Mark Benson's eyes to hire me in the first place. So I don't even know how
about that.
happened, but I got lucky to even get this job and not really knowing, what it was going to be like as I embarked as a new head coach. But as I, started my career from the beginning, amazing support from the community, from the Capital Region, our season ticket holders, family, friends, fans. I mean, it really has that big time feel, with what you guys have done, the coverage that we have within the local news and media. It's an amazing place to be. And of course, I've got small kids, I have family. It's a great place to have a family and have, great, school systems for my kids. And we have a supportive administration. They give me all the resources to be successful with this new arena. Everything's in place. A really great academic institution with a president that really supports athletics, that's visible, a visible leader, a diverse campus, so I can recruit high, caliber athletes from all over the country and all over the world, right, which is, made us so successful. But I've been able to rebuild the program slowly but surely. And now being able to sign a contract extension that keeps me here longer, it's an amazing feeling just to be able to continue to watch this program grow and hopefully, continue the winning ways that we've had.
The Rock Man is watching. And so just a reminder that you will never escape the Rock Man, either on campus or on this show. But a question from one of our viewers, if you could get one team to come play you at Albany, what would it be?
One team to come play us at Albany, what would it be? I think it would be really cool to have, let's think about this.
We're going to have to start a Twitter campaign to get whoever this is here.
Could it be a team? Does it have to be a current team or could it be a previous team? Because what I'd love to have is I'd love to have the Albany class of 2016 come back and play this team. And see
is that Sharisha Richards?
Sharissa Richards, Amani Tate, T. Joe Carter. Let's Heather Forrester, who I coached.
Yeah.
But
they were tall. They were very, very tall.
I'm fearful of how the end result would come, even if they're 35 now, however old they are. But I think it would just be really cool. Any P5, UConn would be so terrific.
Yeah.
University of Tennessee, just to have them come into the Broadview Center and play against us. But we do have some pretty exciting news that I can't talk about with some teams that are going to be coming in next year that I can't talk about because it's not official yet. But,
you could say something that doesn't reveal everything, though.
Okay, maybe I'll just give a hint that says
maybe she's got a contract extension.
Hometown heroes returning to play, maybe another hometown hero that goes to a different school to create some, maybe some buzz around the Capital Region, and that could be kind of cool. Another Division I.
Who could that be?
That's great.
Rhode Island coming?
I know. I don't know. Who knows?
Don't give it away.
Maybe.
Coach spent some time at Rhode Island. Could be Rhode
Island.
Could
be, but that would be speculation.
Dolly is in
at Florida Gulf Coast. Could you get Florida
Gulf Coast? Yeah, it's all speculation.
Never know. This is our job to speculate.
All right.
But when you do get a top level, P5 team to come in, and we always schedule those games on the road, the players it's a way for them to really be able to compare themselves and compete against the highest level athletes in the country. And it's exciting and it's great for the fans, but it's also just a great test for the players. And I think it enhances their overall student athlete experience.
How fired up are you to have Hellion back? That is some news that broke this week. You probably knew before the rest of us, but still,
barely knew before the rest
that it's official now. And obviously, Kayla Cooper named to the preseason all-conference team as well. So up front, you guys are pretty solid.
I don't want to just really overindulge in my excitement that Hellion Hagerstrand decided to come out of retirement. But she's just an amazing human being, a terrific student. just a really impressive young person and great for our culture and a great, leader, not to mention basketball player and 3-point shooter. And, you name it, she does it. And it just relieves her coming back relieves a lot of pressure for, number one, just some of the younger kids and the new players having to, produce quickly. But really for that, our franchise player, Kayla Cooper, who is really in the forefront offensively and defensively of our team. And I think Kayla isn't Kayla, who Kayla's been without Hellion right now. And Hellion isn't who Hellion is without Kayla, because they just really offset each other. Helly's able to stretch the defense with her ability to shoot, and Kayla's just so good inside. But, rebounding and just mismatches, facing up bigger and posting up smaller. But the cool thing about Kayla is that she just continues to grow in her ability to move off the ball. She's going to be asked to play multiple positions this year, a little bit more of the guard, but also her leadership off the floor and just her influence with, mentoring and developing some of the younger players. We're going to have some freshmen that are going to be playing, that are going to be getting significant minutes, specifically in the front line. And Kayla's going to have, a big piece to that, their leadership and their development. So super excited that they're back, and definitely, I'm glad the preseason polls came out before they knew that our Swedish Viking was coming back. And now, preseason polls don't matter. We know that.
I was just going to say, I know she's battled injury the last year and a half, 2 years, but the preseason polls picked you third. You were 14-2 in conference last year, made it all the way to the America East Championship game. But that was prior to anyone knowing that Helly was coming back. So I have to imagine that you feel even better about where this team might be now that she's here.
Yeah, it's exciting. And preseason polls are preseason polls. They really don't matter in terms of just, but we did receive a lot of respect from the league by being voted third and losing 4 starters. I think, that says a lot about what this program has done and what the coaching staff, my assistant coaches, and just the players who have played for us have, developed here. But at the end of the day, like bringing Hellion back and having that extra piece, everybody can kind of take a deep breath. And now those other pieces around, we just have to, get that chemistry going, build that trust as quick as possible so that we're really playing our best basketball as we head into, the conference season.
Coach, last one, and we'll let you get out of here on a Wednesday night. You have a master's in business administration.
Yes.
What did you think you were going to do before you really dove all in on coaching? I'm not qualified to do anything else in this life other than hopefully be on TV, talk about sports, cover the news, whatever. So I have no backup plan.
Well, the plans worked out for you so far, Chris. So I think your plans worked out just fine. So you picked the right profession. I think I picked business because, I did marketing, and I feel like you can market yourself in a lot of different careers. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And I thought maybe I wanted to be a PE teacher or be a coach. And it really wasn't until I became a college player where I really understood the lasting impression a college coach has on a player. And I wanted to be somebody that could be a positive influence in my players' lives. And I went into coaching, and then, having an MBA, hey, it's a nice, fall back on, but it really just is kind of the, it fits all the categories. So whichever direction I want to go, it's kind of the one size fits all, I guess.
You don't need the backup plan. You're good.
Coach, you got 3 kids at home. Are they all hoopers?
That's soon to be discovered. My daughter loves dance and she loves gymnastics, but she is doing 3rd grade basketball. And the other coach, Mullen, in the house is coaching the 3rd grade team. So she's coming out of retirement, and my wife is coaching her team. So, I'll report back on her win-loss record, and we'll compare and contrast. And then my boys are really into soccer right now. So they do like to watch the old school NBA, what was it? The Ahmad Rashad. Inside stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's into the, the NBA dunks and all that stuff. So we'll see.
Very mature taste for young guys.
Maybe X's and O's.
Yeah. Right. Hey, a dancer and soccer players, they'll have good footwork at least playing basketball.
I like that.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Thank you so much for doing the show. Good to see you. Season is obviously right around the corner. We'll be watching.
Great. Thank you guys so much.
Colleen Mullen, the head coach of the UAlbany women's basketball program, with
She's
us
the
here
best.
on I Know. We love her.
And a Peloton savant.
Last 2 full seasons,
Yep.
over 20 wins.
Yeah.
I mean, it has 16-1 conference campaign, a 14-2. I mean, just
good stuff.
Dominant the last couple of years. So she's got that thing rolling for sure. All right, quick timeout here. When we come back, we'll wrap this thing up with the Performance Industrial Dirty Difficult Done. Little college football, little Major League Baseball. By the way, the World Series is happening. Back right after this.
You've heard of unsung heroes. The men and women of Nyskoba are the unseen heroes. For the past year, you've learned about our many charitable endeavors. Now it is my privilege to share with you the work performed by our members, the 20,000 state correction and law enforcement officers shielded from view. They work in difficult and dangerous conditions and are an extension of the police who protect our neighborhoods. Nyskoba honors New York's police and firefighters and salutes its own members who help deliver a peaceful night's sleep.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alphen House. And now, Dirty, Difficult, and Done. Sponsored by Performance Industrial.
A segment we love to do every single week here on Onorato and Miller. There's never a job that's too dirty, too difficult for Bill Miller's squad at Performance Industrial to get it done. Josh McDaniels' days, Ash, as a head coach in the NFL are done. He will coach again.
Vinny.
He's proven to be a good coordinator. But we have to wonder how much of that success is Tom Brady driven. He has to be McDaniels put into the same conversation that we are having now with Bill Belichick and Bill O'Brien and all these guys and Charlie Weiss, all these guys who had success with Tom Brady as their quarterback. McDaniels fired by the Raiders. He's the only coach in NFL history, I read this today, only coach in NFL history to not make it through 2 full seasons at 2 different stops. Fired in year 2 in Denver, fired in year 2 in Las Vegas, and it just was was ugly. The losses were embarrassing. Couldn't hold a lead, couldn't beat lesser opponents. Benched a quarterback, Derek Carr, who got paid $130 or $150 million, and so got no trade compensation for him. Like it was not well run under Josh McDaniels. And so there's no way another organization, even if he has 15 years of great success as an OC somewhere, is going to take another shot at McDaniels.
No, but like you said, chances are if it's not soon as some sort of scouting assistant video coordinator, he'll be back in New England in a few weeks.
For sure. Yep. There's no doubt about it. All right, Ash, you're up.
All right, my dirty, difficult done. Jimmer's difficult journey. And I call it difficult knowing he's had more success than most of us will have in a lifetime. Through basketball leads him to Paris in 2024. We love this. We love the Fredette family, but we love Jimmer. We love the local story about a Glens Falls kid who has played at every level. BYU, when he was the star of an NCAA tournament. He's played professionally in China and other places, to name a few. He's had a little bit of time in the NBA here and there. And now he's been representing his country for a while now, but he will represent the United States in the Olympic Games, which is something that I'm not sure it gets any better than that. Like the chance to win a gold medal for the United States of America in Paris in 2024. Good for you, Jimmer. You deserve the opportunity. 3-on-3 basketball seems to really fit what he does. He's been really, really good at it, and he's not young anymore. So this is a great. Why did it make you feel older?
Well, he's younger than me.
Well, he's younger than me too. But yeah, good for Jimmer. Going to Paris, really cool. They already qualified.
I think I can springboard Jimmer into a credential to Paris to cover the Olympics.
I mean, listen, that it's the best. Is it the greatest connection to an Olympian that we've had? Probably.
Boy, I hate to do that because I'm not.
I know. You're not going to think of everyone. Yeah, I get it. But it's got to be close. He's one of the most famous.
Yep. And in a mainstream, I hate to,
like in a mainstream sport. I get it. It's not cross-country skiing. It's not speed skating.
We had Cody Basque and bobsledding. It's obviously a huge winter sport, but this is basketball and it's Jimmer.
even prior to becoming an Olympian, he was one of the most popular athletes to ever come out of this area.
Yeah.
He's one of the best basketball players to ever come out of this area.
Yeah.
I think you have to think like this is maybe the best chance we have to get a gold medal in a mainstream sport. And it's not mainstream in the way that you think.
No, it's 3-on-3 basketball and on a different looking court. They play half court. Obviously, it's a little weird, but they're gonna have flag football.
Yeah.
So we're getting weird, people. Pickleball will be in the Olympics soon.
Listen, finally, softball and baseball are back because we kept pulling those sports out and then getting weird skateboarding and snowboarding events and street dancing or break dancing or what. Like
they do a trampoline thing too.
Thank God they're back in. Baseball and softball are back too, and lacrosse. So good for Jimmer. Well, that's awesome. It was certainly trending in that direction. It's now official that he's going to the Olympics with Team USA. You have any problem with the initial release of the college football playoff rankings here? Ohio State, not Georgia. Number 1. Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, Washington, all undefeated teams. Right. I was going to say
the top 5. Do you have an issue with the top 4? Remember, the top 4 are the only ones that matter here.
Yeah. I don't, but only because none of them have been beaten yet. So everyone has a perfect record. Everybody's 8-0, right? Or at least 7-8-0. I just think you're really going to be nitpicking here. And you're going to
let me nitpick for a second.
You're going to nitpick when you get to the end because there could be 4 teams who are undefeated or have equal
Doesn't
records.
Washington have the best win of any of these teams on your screen right now?
Yeah.
They beat Oregon. Ohio State won at Notre Dame. Good win. Notre Dame's not a world beater this year. Georgia, Michigan beat Penn State. Okay.
They're coming. They'll either come or they won't come, and that's what will affect these rankings.
Here's why I don't have a problem with them. Because Ohio State and Michigan are going to play each other. So one of them will but it leaves a sour taste in my mouth with how much we've talked about the Pac-12 being so good this year. Where's the respect from the committee?
SEC, Big Ten, ACC.
Where's the respect from the committee, right? So I just would have liked to have seen Washington in the initial release of the rankings. I know they can get there. I know Ohio State and Michigan will cancel each other out on some level, but it just would have been nice if we had somewhat admission from the committee that the Pac-12 is really good this year, and we are recognizing it by putting Washington, an undefeated team with the best win so far this season out of the teams we're looking at, in the top 4. Yeah. That would have been nice.
I don't disagree.
We don't have enough time for the Michigan scandal stuff here. We've literally punted on it twice
now.
It a big deal? Let me do this because I want to at least recognize the World Series happening. Yeah. What a postseason it's been. Ketel Marte, 20 straight games with a hit. Adolis Garcia, 22 RBIs. That's a record.
And he won't play in the final 2, 3, 4 games.
And the Rangers with 15 consecutive games with a homer.
And yet, it is on schedule to be the least watched World Series.
Oh, is it really?
It's literally
the Rangers are that bad?
I know they said, Sam said they had baseball has a problem. You said no, they had a problem. It's still a problem. It is just completely trending down, down, down. I'm not surprised.
I know, but
it's been good. It's been really good.
I'm disappointed. Right. So when your parents say, I'm not angry with you, I'm just disappointed. And I'm disappointed in the fans for not recognizing this. Have a great weekend, everyone.